Y'all ready for this? Yeah. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is. I'm trying to drink my Nepro. I had it for dinner. When are they gonna call me for my transplant? I did all the tests. Let me see. I dotted all my I's. I checked all my T's. I did all the tests. I had my heart checked. Everything. I did everything. GYN. Everything. Everything came out good. So why aren't they calling me? Why aren't they calling me yet? I don't know what else to do. Listen, I got my cane even. You know what I mean? My walker, my thing, and what have you. I even packed my bags. That's right. Look at me being strong. I packed my bags because I'm waiting for them to call me. As soon as they're calling me, I'm going to grab my bag and go. Woo, no more dialysis. Never to see it again. Oh, boy. Just to be off of it would be a great pleasure. Oh, I can't wait. Why don't the phone ring? I don't know. I don't know who else could have been waiting this much or this long or done all the tests or done everything. I dot every I and every T, whatever you want to call it. Well, what time is it? Is it almost 8 o'clock? I think that lady's coming on. My girl, that woman, Lele. Yes, I know. Lisa Baxter. That's right, because this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hey, everybody, how you guys are doing? Happy Sunday and happy Thanksgiving. That's going to be this week. That's right. I said it. So I hope you're going to be thankful. I'm thankful for being alive. I'm thankful for my kidney. I'm thankful for all the years I spent on dialysis, that it didn't kill me or anything. So I'm just grateful for you. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful to God. All right. So we are going to get the show started in just a second. I don't know if you heard about For Kidney's Sake. For Kidney's Sake is a wonderful program. Miss Angela Davis was running this program for a long time and everything. So now we got Dawn running it now, and she's doing a fantabulous job. And she sent me a little love care package. So, they usually do pink pearl and we dress in pink. We got some footies in here, got some lotion and stuff in here. Got a little puzzle and a little jewelry in here and a little notepad. I just thought that was very sweet. Thank you so much, Dawn. Bless your life, girl. I ain't mad at you. How about that? Well, let's go right into the show. Let's drive in. Let's sail on in up in here, And remember to have your shield if you need it, because of the COVID is out there. Have your mask and your gloves. Be gloved up and masked up. How about that? Yes, I said it and I told you. But let me tell you this. We got a fantabulous guest on tonight, right? We have Ramothea Webster. That's right. Dr. MD, PhD, family medicine, flight medicine, physician, a LT, a COL, a United States Air Force person in the house, a doctor at that. Is there a doctor in the house? Well, there's a doctor. Come on, Ramothea! Woohoo! Hey, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you for the intro. Thank you. It warms my heart. I'm happy to be here tonight.
That.
So happy to be here tonight. Thank you for having me on your show.
To get you, but I got you now.
Yes. Yes.
What was that?
I said, thank you so much for having me
Well,
on your show.
oh no, you're welcome. It took me so long to get you. I can't believe it. And I know some of the people out there can't believe I finally got you, but I did. Woohoo! So, boy, we're gonna have first show on tonight. Thank you so much for doing this for me. I know you got a busy schedule and everything. So, you're a mom too. So I don't want to stop anything, but I want to keep the ball rolling. We're going to get into a little bit of everything. So one of the things I want to ask you is, what is it that you do for a living?
That's a nice broad question, right? So what I do for a
Hey,
living.
go right in there.
So I always say that for one, I'm a mom, right? Because my goal is to be the best mom in the whole entire world. So Joshua Webster, shout out to my son, is that's my heart. So for me, that's my number one priority, to make sure my son is taken well care of. And also, I'm very active in my church. I'm part of my youth group. Our youth group over at Caring for Perfection Ministries. Um, we have ages 18 to 35. It's called LIT, which is Lives in Transition. So there's a few facilitators that come out every Wednesday night for our Bible study with our youth group, and it's awesome. I love our youth. I learned so much from them. And also, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm actually I'm sort of process of starting my own business. Pretty much, as you already know, we always talk about things that struggles of our family so much is faith, family, finance. So realize that it's a spiritual pillar component to keeping a family together. So a family that prays together stays together. Also, getting to know yourself, and that's not just mentally, but physically, emotionally, spiritually. You get to know yourself, and then once you know yourself, then you can work on relationships with your friends and family, right? And then you can start building upon your resources and hopefully building that financial wealth to leave a legacy for future generations, which a lot of times our families forget to do that as well. So my goal is to do more of a holistic type of healing. And I'm kind of start that while I'm still in the military. So, I'll have multiple parts happening at the same time. So the goal is, to finish out my military service honorably, and then to start my own business to do a more of a holistic healing, be it spiritual, financial, and then using herbal medicine to help our people.
Well, that sounds good. And that sounds so promising. Now, what made you become a doctor in the first place?
Well, I'm probably those rare little children. Since I was 8 years old, I've always wanted to be a doctor, honestly. And my parents, Yolanda Grady Webster, they've been my backbone supporting me. My parents, I love them to death. Mwah. They supported me. They made sure I got my chemistry sets, my microscope. They gave me like medical encyclopedias at a young age, and make sure I was signed up to all the medical fairs. I was exposed to the sciences, and they cultivated that. And I even got a white coat from my pediatrician, Dr. LeBoy. If he's out there, hey, thank you. I still remember you to this day. I still have that white coat from the time I was in fourth grade. I said, I want to be a doctor, kind of thing. And it's just something I just kind of carry with me, honestly, going through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, then going off to graduate school, and then guess medical school, residency. I just kept that goal. It's definitely a tough road. It wasn't easy going through all those years of schooling, but it was a passion. I think I really believe that God put it inside me to pursue, and I wouldn't regret a day of it.
Okay, well, you're a doctor. So what made you go from medicine to going into Air Force doing medicine?
I wanted to change the pace. So I was practicing medicine in Brooklyn, New York, and it had some great opportunities there. Loved it, but I've always wanted to serve. We come from a family of multiple generations. A grandfather being Joshua Crossland, and then uncles and cousins and brothers, myself,
Yeah,
and
that's my
hopefully generations after us. We have multiple generations, almost 4 generations now of people in the military, and the majority has been the Army. So I'm the first one in our family, obviously on both sides. We have people serve on both sides of my family. To go Air Force. So I was a smart one to go Air Force, right? But I've always wanted to serve and serve my country. And then I just love the adrenaline rush, honestly, baby, to deploy and help our front line. Honestly, the people who are really getting at it to protect this country for our liberties here that a lot of people unfortunately take for granted. But I wanted to be there to take care of them so that they could come home, and then see their families again. So it was important for me as my role as a doctor to make sure they came home with honor.
Wow, wow, that is beautiful. Now, being dealing with this type of thing, it can be heavy dealing, studying to be a doctor, then becoming a doctor, and then now extra trade of being a doctor in the Air Force. Has that hurt any people, you or anybody in the military to deal with that? Because I know it can be hard. I know depression can come in, or it could just be too much and everything. But you have worn it well and done it well. But I'm sure there's challenges in there somewhere that you might want to talk about.
Oh yes, tons of challenges. I've had 6 tours under my belt, traveling throughout the Middle East, through Iraq, Afghanistan, and then also in West Africa and all that throughout Africa. So, and being in combat zones, so that kind of does something to you. You don't think, because we're all very gung ho, really resilient, but sometimes when you least expect it, it hits you. So a lot of our military families, including myself, I'm not immune to it either, suffer from PTSD, depression, anxiety, insomnia, migraines, chronic pain. From top of your head to the soles of your feet. I personally have neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain, hip pain, knee pain. You name it, I have it. And everything I stated before, I had those conditions too. So now that's why I'm more into the holistic healing. Realize I have to take care of me now, because how can I take care of anybody else when I can't take care of myself? So I have to make sure I'm whole in terms of those 3 pillars as well. And my goal is to advocate for other veterans, especially single moms, just like myself. And it's rough, because people in the military, and especially now, the holidays coming up and depression kicks in, we're the highest rate of suicides and homicides. And, like, why is that? Why do we do that? So it's important for us to, dig deep, and look out for each other these holiday seasons, especially as Thanksgiving and Christmas and the year comes. And 2020 has been a roller coaster ride for the majority of Americans and throughout the world. So just sometimes you have people right under your nose and you don't even know what's going on with them. So use this time to get to know, this free time people have to get to know each other and be there for one another.
Yes, that is so important. It takes team to make the dream work, and family is a big part and a big thing, in our lives. We thank God for our friends. We thank God for our extra family, which our church family, our blood wash family. But we just think you need your family. You need that support for
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're going through, whether it's an illness or a job or depression. It can be hard to get out of depression. It can be very hard.
Yes.
I know when my husband died, it was very hard. And when my sister D
Mm-hmm.
Simone died, it was hard again. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes you want to
Yes.
get out and it feel like you're in a hole and you can't hardly climb out of there. I mean, it took Jesus
Yes.
and God, the Holy Ghost, and a whole host of family to get me out of that. You know.
Yes.
So I know,
Yes.
I couldn't imagine being somewhere where there's blood or there's shooting or killing or witnessing something live, and then you have to, go back home and, carry these things with you. So my hat off to you for being a doctor, for being a healer, and then even wanting to serve your country and still do all of that. So my hat off to you, my everything off to you. Here's my little to you. If I had one, I'd give you a big one. Now,
Thank
what
you.
has connected you to kidney disease? You're welcome.
So I have a family lineage of polycystic kidney disease that runs in our family. So we have, with my mom, so her father, my mom, sisters, brothers, 2 of her own children, my 2 younger brothers have it, cousins that have it. seen patients with it. But what hits home is with your own personal family, right? So I remember my mom getting sick just before my wedding, and her holding it all together and looking all pretty for my wedding, but she was really, really hurting. And it didn't really dawn on me till later how strong she was to be present, and when full of toxins in her blood, because she wasn't even dialyzed yet, um, to be there for me on my wedding day. And I just thank God, over 30 years later, almost 30 years now, I've been on dialysis. Yeah, I believe back in 1997, that's when she started. It's We see that roller coaster ride, with hemodialysis, with my aunt with peritoneal dialysis, complications associated with that, with fistulas, and having chest tubes, and have things come out of your neck and things on your arm, and have to go every other day and sometimes for 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
And then also traveling too, and try to coordinate traveling, because life doesn't end when you have, you know, end stage renal disease. You still have to live. You still have to work.
Say that. Come on
So,
here.
so I've seen my family members, stay strong, still have full-time jobs, still traveling. So it's not the end of the world. So I've seen it firsthand, the strength that my family has, persevered through this. So if people out there who are afraid, of being tested, I know me personally, honestly, since it's an autosomal dominant trait. Autosomal dominant trait. It's like a tongue twister, right? So and I'm a doctor, right? So I was fearful to get my ultrasounds done to check my kidneys to see if I had any cysts on my kidneys. And I've gotten ultrasounds done 3 times to make sure there weren't any cysts growing even as I get older. And then also sending my son to get it done. And just that was just last year. And the apprehension of the fear associated with my son has this disease as well. So I get the apprehension, the fear, but it's better to get tested than not to get tested, and especially within our communities, it's so hard for us not doing our pap smears, our colonoscopies, going to the doctor, giving annual visits, getting your blood work, because it's that fear component. Somebody we would rather not know, but it's better to know so you can fix it early, because prevention is better than the cure, and hopefully you could be on this earth a little bit longer. So I get it, hits home every time, and it's strong. It's very strong. Strong bond. Strong bond.
I had your brother on the show too, and he did a great job, Damian Webster. And I've had your cousins and them on the show as well, and they did a great job as well. And they told the truth, because I believe in keeping it 1,000, putting it out there. If you're gonna talk about this stuff, you got just talk about it. You got to be about it. So I have to put myself on the microscope, having polycystic kidney disease, having family members with it, and everything. And I just thank you for, again, for coming on the show. Now, I was surprised when you told me on the phone yesterday that you was felt a little, way about being tested, because like you said, you're a doctor, but it goes to show you anybody can be fearful. A doctor doesn't make you not be human, and having kidney disease doesn't make you want to run to get help either. I'm gonna tell you that's true. You know what I mean? Even though I went to get the help, but I know in our family, because you're my niece, I know in our family we have to talk about things, and we have to put these things out there, and we have to tell people. People say, "Oh, you got your," somebody say, "Oh, you got your family." I said, I have to put my family, because if I have to lead by an example, then you have to put me under a microscope. So if I'm under there, they're under there. If they want to be under there, so I don't force my family. So whoever came on the show, I'm always grateful. So what I say to say that too is that you relocated also. So you were living in New York, and then you relocated to Florida. How was that?
So being
Was
in the
that
military,
okay?
we always travel, right? So I always had a love for travel, even from young. Even though we had we come from very humble beginnings, I remember my parents putting four of us at that time, which was the four of us, because my baby brother Raquan came on 10 years later. But
Yes.
but we'd be all furnished up in this little Ford sedan. I remember it was orange.
I remember
Ford.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just road trip. It was like random. Like, let's go. And we were like, where? It's like, doesn't matter, just drive. And we just drive until we got tired. And where we stopped, we stopped. You know, and we could go to the local store, buy a toothbrush, get some underwear, whatever, and make it work. And it was just that spontaneity, that I always appreciated. And that's one of the things I loved about the military, because I could be a doctor. My empanelment of my patients followed me everywhere I go, because my soldiers, right, my airmen, it just didn't really matter where I went. I've always had an empanelment, because a lot of times they fear that a lot of doctors can't move, right, because they're afraid that if they leave or go on vacation, another doctor will snatch up their patients. So it could get very competitive, especially if you're like a private practice. So that was one of the things that appealed to me in the military. I could travel, still see patients, not worrying about my income revenue, because that stays stable throughout the whole time. It increases every year, and you see the world. That's priceless. To be able to see the different parts of the world, and you see the good and the ugly. That was very appealing to me. And then in Florida, it's definitely a culture shock coming from New York City, right, in Long Island, to good old Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Very different.
Wow.
But they always call it LA, Lower Alabama. Here it's different, and then it's just Joshua and I. We have no family here, but what keeps us going is our military family, and that the camaraderie we have with each other, and I could say spiritual family, my church home, because we actually we constantly look out for each other. So I appreciate that.
Oh, that's good. Well, you have that. I know you you were in the sororities in school and everything as well, right?
Yes.
Sororities,
Travels. I'm sorry.
things like that.
Oh,
I saw your
sorority.
pictures and
Yes.
yeah, I saw your
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, I even got
I'll
your
give a
pictures.
shout
I
out.
didn't put anything out there, but I mean, I still had your pictures with you guys, all dressed up and everything, and that's just a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You still have a good spirit with it. You know what I mean? And you still doing what
Yeah.
you have to do to take care of the people out there and to take care of yourself. You said next year you're gonna start your podcast. Is it next year?
Yes. That's my goal, is to have my own podcast and talk on those three pillars of spirituality, internal healing, being physical, mental, emotional, social, and then also financial. So I'm healing, because a lot of times we're in debt, and a lot of times people could have money but don't know how to manage their money, unfortunately. And so my thing is making sure we save the money we save, get out of debt, build up, a legacy for future families, for your future generations, having a retirement plan, if that's a 401k or in the military or TSP, having, income protection. So just in case, God forbid, you die, or you have disability, or you're able to work, that your mortgage is still getting paid, right? Because you don't want that burden upon your family, and having money, if you, God forbid, they go in a nursing home, or even burial costs, things like that. We don't really think ahead of those things, and a lot of times we leave that burden to our families. So my goal is to make sure that we leave benefits to our families, ongoing benefits, versus leaving them a burden once we move on, and have that money circulate in our community, and go forward 15 generations ahead.
Well, I love the idea that you teach your son everything. I believe in that myself. Anything that I learned from having my own company, my own show, writing books, I believe in passing it down to the next generation, telling them what to do, how to do it, whether they want to do it or not. If they're changing their mind, they want to do it. The ones interested, I try to keep them captive. You know what I'm saying? So, what is it that made you do that to Joshua? Hello, Joshua.
Yes, my baby. So my goal honestly was to employ as much knowledge in Joshua that I could, because you don't want to think about it, but me going into the desert in the Middle East and combat zones and getting fired at and shot at and missiles coming at you, like I was afraid I would come home, but just in case, I want to make sure Joshua was all set. I want to make sure that if anything happens to me, he knows what to do. And Joshua, he's a phenomenal young man. Has a 4.2 GPA, honors classes. He got AP classes. He wants to go to trade school because college not for everybody. Hopefully he'll still get his associates at least. But the fact that you can use your genius in any kind of way. So, but he knows how to run a house. He knows how to pay bills. He knows how to take care of the house in terms of the plumbing or electrical. He knows how to take care of finances. He works. So anything electronics in the house or an irrigation system, like everything I need to teach him so that he could be sustained, I teach him, and even teaching him entrepreneurship too, and having his own business. Job. Yeah, he's 16, has his job, has a bank account, savings account, a checking account, an investment account, real estate. So for 16-year-old, yeah, I'm trying to get him set up well, so that way he will be a good member to society once he reaches adulthood.
Yeah. Well, the girls might have their eye out on him. He's a looker. You know what I mean? So
he's quite handsome. Yes.
So we talked about military, mental health, family, traveling, relocating, right? We talked about your faith, God, and what have you. If there's somebody out there that maybe they're in the military or looking to go into the military or even to be a doctor, what advice or encouragement, a little tidbit, give them a little nugget, about give them a little, give them something, say something to them that encourage them in this field or in this area. Please, won't you?
Yes, actually, I just shared this with my youth group just last Wednesday. So I was discussing with them, because I've been in school probably a total from first grade all the way to my postdoctorate and residency. I think it's 32 years that I was putting it all together. That's a great majority of my life being in school and in training. But I don't regret a day of it. So and it's been a blessing, throughout the whole process. And for me, I always, one of my sorors, my line sister, my Sands, she always said this in undergrad when we went to RPI, that there's short-term sacrifices for long-term happiness. And I never forgot that, even 25 years later. And I would say in the mirror, I'm here for education, not for social life. Because when you're young, you want to party, you want to have fun. But I had goals, I had aspirations, and I made tons of sacrifices. It was times when I wanted to go on those boat rides, and there was times I wanted to go on those weekend trips and, go out, from New York, people went to Panama City, or you went to, Myrtle Beach. You did all these things, but I didn't go because I made that sacrifice because I wanted to study. I wanted to get into a double doctorate program, and to be able to train, in top universities and Ivy League universities, and as a African-American woman, that's not an easy task. And you have a lot of adversities, people coming at you, even in keeping a 4.0 average, at RPI, so it was a hard task. And it's plenty of times I would get depressed. Plenty of times I wanted to cry. Plenty of times I had insomnia. I was like, oh Lord, why am I doing this again? Should I do this? But I'm not a quitter, right? And I'd say, do not quit, especially if you have these aspirations. I had this aspiration since I was 8 years old. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's painful. It's not easy. It's not easy. But if you have the right people in your corner, make sure you have a mentor, right? People that can guide you and help you through the path, because there's multiple ways one can reach the end goal. So that's why you want to enjoy the journey on the way, and make sure you have a supporting team to help you through that journey so you won't fail, because you can't do it alone. It's we're not an island by ourselves. And we say it takes a tribe to look over the family, the community. It takes your people for us to look out for each other. And it's true resiliency, and you never know how strong enough until you go through it. So you have to take that leap of faith. Even if you go blind and you're taking that step forward, don't worry about it. Even if you're going 4 steps forward and 3 steps back, you still 1 step forward. It's slow progress. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow is fast, and fast is slow. So long as you're making that steady pace and you're being consistent, you're gonna go far. But if you just, go without plans and you try to go really fast, like, oh, I'm just going to get this finished and now you're going to journey, then you may have the back step and actually slowed you down, then get you ahead. So I would just keep saying courage, read the Bible, speak to your elders, do something. I also have hobbies too, right? So, you use different sides of your brain. I play multiple instruments. I love the arts. I love walking. I love music. I love gardening. That's totally helped my PTSD and my anxiety. Gardening is a great outlet. So have like outlets too, because you don't want to be totally studious, right? Because you can't say work and not have play. You have to have that balance, and it helps you with the stress levels. And then believe in hydration, hydrate. Have my water bottle right here. And this healthy eating and sleeping. That's something that really sleep, exercise, and dieting. That's really the biggest thing to help us heal our bodies. Our body is phenomenal. And God knew what He was doing. He made our body. We can heal ourselves. So, but we gotta take care. It's only one vessel. People, take care of their car better than take care of their own body. So, like, we have to take care of our bodies. We have to.
I ain't mad.
So that hopefully we can do God's mission on this earth while we're here.
You ain't never lied. Now, is there anything we missed or anything to talk about or say before I let you give your shout out to whoever you want to give your shout out to?
Wow, it's just so much. It's so overwhelming. It's just a great opportunity to be on this show, and thank you so much, Auntie. Like I said, Miss Baxter.
Yeah, you always been smart. You always was putting your best foot forward. You always was trying. And I remember the Dr. Kit and the little thin kit you had. So I was watching and everything, and I remember when you said your words and stuff, your first little words and everything.
Yes,
you got so many nicknames for all of us. You were LeBron's baby. That was your godmother.
Yeah, God
so
bless her soul.
all the love is definitely
Yes. So, but I thank you for
I can't believe I was watching.
I know. Wow, it's awesome. Hey. Yeah.
You got a lot of family. A lot of family and friends and people out there. Yeah. I see them out there.
Awesome.
Who would you like to give a shout out to? Somebody you want to give some love out there to. Put it on out there. Throw it on out there. Bam. Put it.
Oh, well, definitely want to give glory on God, because He's my maker, and I wouldn't be here for Him. So I thank the God for this opportunity. Because Lord knows it's hard to pin me down. I'm always moving, traveling, doing my thing. And thank you, Aunt Lisa, for this opportunity. I want to give a shout out to all my friends and family. People support me. Of course, my church family, my blood family, my extended family, my sorority. The church. I had friends right here in Fort Walton and friends, of course, in Japan, Saudi Arabia, Hawaii. I have Canada, Angola, my father's family and people in the South and everywhere. I just want to thank you all for your support, because and have people on here that have known me since I was a little girl. Thank you for helping me blossom to the young woman I am now, and thank you for the opportunity for me to be your mentors too. I love my mentees, and I just want to thank you all for who came out and support me today. There's more is yet to come. Hopefully, 2021 will be best for all of us for next year. We go put this year behind us and look forward to the future. Life is great. Just know that, and God is good all the time, and God is good. Look out for each other for these holiday season. And I love you all. Thank you. Looking forward to talk to you guys again. And hugs, kitchens, virtual hugs, and warrior masks.
It's so funny. On the phone, we were talking about blood pressure, diabetes, all kind of stuff. But God do all things well. We already know those are some of the number one causes of kidney disease. But we thank you for sharing the stuff, everything that you have shared, even about the army, because some people don't let everything, put things out there about anything. But that's how people learn, from mistakes and from trial and error and just from the illness. You got to know your body and know your illness. So, oh, Dr. Webster, I truly appreciate you and your work and what you are doing. Continue to do great and marvelous things. God got this. God got you. And I'm looking forward to seeing wonderful things in your future.
Amen. I
Good
receive.
night.
I receive.
Hallelujah. So
Hallelujah.
thank you and good night. I am going to definitely not end the show. And I got to say goodbye also to my guests. Great job. I ain't mad at you. You better go ahead. Well, guys, you have heard it tonight. You have truly heard it. And I am glad she was on the show, and I am glad that you tuned in. I'm glad you always there for me. Next week, I have Dawn. I can't pronounce her last name, Krastowski, so that's why I didn't want to say it. But anyway, she's a beautiful, great, excellent kidney warrior that's going to be on the show next week. And oh man, we got such a great lineup for December and for January. So don't you ever miss it. Bless your life. Happy Thanksgiving. Be well, be good to yourself, and be good to God because He's deserved it. Love you. Pieces. Victory. Good night.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is